Let's talk a little bit about copper benefits because I saw an article that came out today as well. And this is talking about copper being a key nutrient for maintaining heart health, bones, and brain health. They say 1 in 4 Americans are not getting enough of. I bet you it's even more. Yeah, it's crucial for immune system, cardiovascular system, and
Part of our wiring, man. It's like part of our internal electrical structure.
totally. Matt Blackburn saying that electrons can pass through copper 4 times better than iron.
Also, we talk about zinc.
Yeah,
Forget the balance of zinc and copper. People
right.
taking these zinc supplements, super high in zinc, but they're not getting the full spectrum because they're not taking copper, or they're taking a zinc copper blend, but it's not nearly as much copper as you'd get in something like an oyster or organs that have both zinc and copper.
Those that take the zinc supplements can actually reduce their copper levels. It tampers it down if you only supplement zinc.
Yep.
So
Then you're playing a game of cat and mouse because your body's balancing all these different exogenous supplements of certain levels of zinc, certain levels of copper, and your body's not able to regulate it as much as it would be from a bioavailable food source. However, most food we have nowadays is very lacking in those nutritional profiles, especially copper and zinc.
Copper also is huge for dopamine. So it'll actually help your body produce more dopamine to motivate you to do better, hopefully, and not getting distracted. So
I need more of that. Damn, where's my copper at?
one of the really important things that I think Matt Blackburn talks about is the ability to use iron is regulated by copper. It also prevents anemia and allows iron to act in its roles to, iron's important as well. We all know that, but there are a lot of people that are not able to access and use that iron, and it's because the lack of copper they have. Copper, when it comes to the other things that it does, like our adrenal glands, they actually use them to make noradrenaline and adrenaline, which are norepinephrine and epinephrine. And that'll actually help us respond to stress that put us in that fight or flight state and allow us to jump off from there in either acting or, relieving that state. Things really start from the brain down and even at the blood cell level. It helps us make blood platelets, which will clot the blood if we've been wounded, producing white blood cells for our immune system. What's one of your go-to foods to get copper?
It's definitely my go-to copper food would be oysters, but oysters isn't always available to me either. I know I like it from mussels, oysters, mussels. If I order mussels out, I usually don't get canned mussels, but that seems to be a more viable option since my natural food store is always out of oysters. I take my beef liver supplements as well, or any other animal organ blend or liver caps, anything like that. As long as it's grass-fed, ruminant animals, they have that ability to balance out the copper with the zinc levels. When it comes to plant levels, I don't really think about that when I'm eating my plant foods. I'm not like, I'm going to get copper and zinc from this. I know there's some that have it, but I know it might also have absorption qualities that I'm not too keen on.
For like andro, I definitely recommend people get that grass-fed beef liver, whether it's in capsules or whatever. That's kind of the go-to. But as of late, I've been doing a lot of the oysters as well for that. And of course, you're getting your zinc with the copper in, I think, both of them. It's always in abundance, so you're able to not set one thing off above the other, and it's replenishing both, so you're not playing that cat and mouse game like you mentioned earlier with zinc and copper. Beef liver, go-to. Oysters is a good go-to, and I've heard things like shiitake mushrooms, but it may really depend on if the mushrooms are organic or not. A lot of the things that have been measured in the past probably are not as available as you would think if you did different samples. It's kind of hit or miss, even when it comes to the animal foods, which is why we talk about sourcing so much. But it looks like spirulina is on the list as well. some dark leafy greens like kale, spinach, all of that. Even potatoes have some copper, apparently. You really want to get the animal foods and go that route.
Think about the dark chocolate one. Seems like that's what I've been seeing. It seems like everything dark chocolate has everything in it: magnesium, copper, theobromine. It's got all these different cool compounds in there. I've been seeing it come up more and more, but I don't know about you, but I think I'm addicted to chocolate. So I'm gonna try and not go crazy with it.
The amount of darkness that you'd have to get from like a dark chocolate to be beneficial for things like copper and even magnesium, I believe, you would have to get like above 85% or something cacao.
Yep.
Which no one truly loves.
Yeah. No one really likes that kind of cacao. And it's got to be quality cacao because there's mold in there, and there's also they mix it with other things. The cacao quality is of utmost importance. Most of the time, it is not super clean because it's fermented. It's a whole process. It takes time to make some cacao, but it tastes pretty good for me. And then I put it in my ice cream. Just gonna have a new ice cream recipe though soon.
Yeah. Yep. It'll be pretty
big
good.
and strong.